All right, Drip, I have been chomping at the bit to make this video. I've been ill, as you can hear. I need to yell into the Ethernet, the internet, about game keycards. Because,
all right, well, start yelling.
Good Lord, man. So I have been interacting with people on Twitter about this, and I just feel like I need to respond to this and get this extra video out this week. And game keycards have been driving me absolutely insane because the first initial wave of reactions I saw, Drip, was that they were bad, right? That's what I thought the first popular opinion was. Like, they're fake games. Fake games, no, bad.
Yeah, everyone was very mad at first. Yes.
And then I started to form my own opinion about them, which was I want nothing to do with them. I didn't hate them at that time. I was just like, I have no interest in picking up a game key card because I would if I'm going to buy physical, I want a physical game, the whole game on a cartridge. If I'm going to do that, that's what I want. Okay. So then on Twitter, I pretty much say as much. I'm like, I have no interest in game key cards whatsoever because I'm pretty much signing myself up for an all digital future with the Switch 2. Because as somebody who collects games, because I just don't want to have to deal with an inconvenience of physical. It's the inconvenience of physical games, which is having to plug it in your system all the time,
which I hate.
With the inconvenience of not being physically on the cartridge, so it's not like you have future proofing either. It's not like you're going to have a whole game on your cartridge so you can work with that later. So it's both bad things. It's both the things you don't want. Exactly.
You don't want digital, but if you are digital, if you want the physical copy, you actually want the physical copy. So they're giving you a fake digital copy and a fake physical copy at the same time.
Exactly. And I just want nothing to do with that. But apparently the internet has told me otherwise. And this is specifically referencing Split Fiction, how Split Fiction is coming with a cardboard card in the box with a code on it.
Yeah, code in the box, yeah.
And I had initially said, well, first of all, it was the whole thing was started because I said, well, the game is more than 64 gigabytes, which is more than the game itself can fit on the max cartridge size. And people had an issue with me telling me that, well, you're an idiot because EA is just being lazy and not putting effort in and just cashing in because, of course, they could have got that number down. Look at Cyberpunk. 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 And I've got that comment, look at Cyberpunk, about 100 times. I'm not even joking. Replied to me over the weekend that look at Cyberpunk. And yeah, of course. I just have a hard time comparing CD Projekt Red, what they're doing. The last, how many years now they've been refining this game? They've been refining this game.
And plus they've also clearly got a deal, something going with Nintendo. That's why this game is on the cartridge. Everyone's like, oh, they did it because no, that's not why they did it. It's because Nintendo's backing up a truck of cash to be like, yes, we're going to help you make sure this is a launch game and it's going to be a pristine Nintendo's involved with this. That's why. So anybody's saying, "Ooh, look at Cyberpunk." No. Okay, Nintendo's not coming to any of these other people saying, "Oh, hey, Split Fiction. Yeah, let me help you guys out. We'll go ahead and do a little deal with you guys too." I mean, this was kind of the same thing with The Witcher too.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. Witcher 3, the way that came over. I mean, that was all on the cartridge plus the DLC. It had a bunch of stuff with it, but I mean, Nintendo was helping out with that because they want it. They want that game as a launch game for, obvious reasons. It shows what the Switch 2 can do. And that's like the game. That's like, you know what I mean? The standard. So anybody really trying to use that as like, ooh, look at this. Sorry to tell you, if CD Projekt Red wasn't getting help from Nintendo, that would not be on the cartridge either. It wouldn't.
Yeah, and again, I just don't want it to go into get lost here in the fact that they have been that the launch for that game with Cyberpunk was a disaster. It was an absolute disaster, and it's taken many years of refining after release to get it to a point where it is now. And yes, they compressed it and compressed it and compressed it again to the point where it is now, not only because of the deal with Nintendo, but also because the years of development after the game came out. So this game has this game is just cornmeal flour. It's just like
right. Well, they built off the PS4 version of this. That's what they're building on top of, is what I've seen. So they took that. I mean, they fixed it, but that was the flawed version of it, really.
Yeah.
And Because I believe that's the one. Is that the one that Sony took off of their? Was that game? Was it Cyberpunk 2077? They were like, no, we're not selling this.
There was lots of controversy. I think
it was Sony's
I think you're right
store,
about that.
But that's the version that they're building on top of right now. So yeah, it's had a lot of time to be fixed, and Nintendo's involved in that. And I know there's going to be comments that you don't know. I mean, yeah, we do know that. They just posted a creator voice today about Cyberpunk. They're helping. Yeah, Nintendo's involved in that coming over.
Yeah.
Now they're not involved in Madden. I'm sure that's not something they're really that worried about. They're not involved probably with Capcom and Street Fighter. I mean, even though they work pretty closely with Capcom, Street Fighter's a game they're like, Capcom wants it on the system. I mean, all these people want it on the system now. I think another problem that people aren't realizing is these games are big. And I know not all of them are over 32 gigs, but there's a possibility, and I've been seeing this float around now the past couple days, that Nintendo is doing this because there's only one cartridge size. The 64 gig cartridge size.
Is that really what that is now? Was that the word?
I don't know if that's the truth. I don't know if that's the truth, and I don't know if that's exactly what's happening, but I've seen that several places, that it is a possibility that the reason this stuff is happening is because there's only the 64 gigabyte card. And at that point, if you're over 32,
if you think about it, that makes a lot of sense, because while the storage is more expensive this generation, a lot of games are going to be touching that number more than they used to because of the so it's, and they just decided, Nintendo, when they were just making switch to cartridges, let's just get these 64 gigabyte cards in bulk and save some money instead of having to get some 32, some 16.
It's their stuff. Yeah, it's their proprietary thing that they've had. Like, it's their thing. So It's not costing them nearly as much as it would cost somebody else to do that. I mean, okay. Let me get something else here. So here's some game. Mario Kart World is 23.4 gigabytes. This is Nintendo game, so you have to remember, this is what they do. They can make these things smaller. Hitman is 59. Let's see. Cyberpunk is 59. That's going on the cartridge. But there's something interesting here. Where is it? Okay. Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S.
Yep.
That is 3.9 gigabytes, and it's going to be a game key card.
Mm-hmm.
Now think about this. If you're putting this game out and it's 4 gigabytes, but you have to buy a 64 gigabyte card, what are you going to do?
And your game is not full price either. I think that's a factor people are also conveniently forgetting about.
Yeah, you're only making $40 off the game. It's very small, but you have to buy a gigantic cartridge to put it on. So the game key card comes in there, and I know it sucks. These things are, it does suck for exactly the reasons you're saying. It doesn't matter to me because I'm buying everything digital anyway. You want the physical game.
Right.
But I think Nintendo's kind of, if this is true, I don't know if this is true, but it does make sense why we see so many of these now, because maybe there is only that one size, and we're looking at these games that are like, 13 gigabytes. I mean, what are we going to do? We're going to buy a 64 gigabyte card to put these things on when it's like not even close to that? There's not even another option? Because that's what it seems to me, is that there's just not another option, which could be totally wrong, but that's what I keep seeing around right now.
Oh, we got a list here as well. I'm going to show this on the screen here. Here's the complete in box games: Cyberpunk, Damina Ex Machina. I don't know. Damien Ex Machina. Donkey Kong Bonanza, Kirby and the Forgotten Land, Crossworlds. Most of these are first party.
Yeah, Damien Ex Machina is first party.
Rune Factory. You guys can see a list here. Most of this is first party stuff, and I think their biggest highlight that's not is Cyberpunk, obviously. Then let's look at everything else that we know for fact here. I found this on Reddit. Bravely Default is these are all game key cards. Bravely Default, Hitman, Madden, No Sleep for Katame Date, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2S. Some of these Radio Remastered, The Mystery of Soulless Army, Sonic X Shadows Generation, Street Fighter 6, Yakuza Director's Cut, Those are all game key cards. And then we got a couple of code in the boxes: Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3+4 and Split Fiction. And some of these are just straight up digital. We got Fast Fusion, Katsino Gami, The Path of Goddess. Sorry if I'm pronouncing these wrong. Street Fighter 6 and Switch 2 Welcome Tour is not getting a physical release. Haha. Yeah, I mean, just interesting to see the games that are how the split is here. And obviously, this is very early. With Switch 2 is not out yet as of recording this episode. So this is very early. I'm sure we'll have more information as we go along here in the future. But the game key cards are here to stay. And I think what happened was my social media was full of people who, that's how social media works. It's full of things that you look up, right? When your social media is an echo chamber for you. That's a fact. So when I decided to hate on the game key cards, I saw a lot of people who also hated on game key cards. But I said something that triggered a bunch of people, and then I got an influx of people who I didn't know existed who are supporting game key cards. And I'm like, I don't understand why you would support game. I get if you want to collect physical, but these games are fake physical. They're not real physical. Yeah. They're digital games disguised as physical.
Yeah, and it gives you so much more of a pain to even deal with them. Because you're tied to the and we did talk about this, and this is pretty obvious, I think, but like it does have one advantage, that you can take that, empty cartridge in the case and sell it to somebody.
Yes.
Or you can trade it into GameStop.
Trust me, Drip, everybody has let me know, besides the fact that they could have fit Split Fiction on the 64 gig cart if they weren't lazy. Everyone told me that, and I'm sure they could have taken more time. I know that, but they also told me about that as well, the resale value.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. But honestly, I mean, okay, if you're really if you're worried about selling your games, I guess, get key cards. But to me, that's the thing. Especially somebody who is all digital now. The reason I went all digital is because I hate having to carry around cartridges with me, change it out, or, if the case is, who knows where, I got to find my case, get the game out, okay, put it in, because I don't have a shelf with, like, rows. I don't, you've been to my house.
You cleared it out.
I cleared that stuff out. Yeah, I don't want to have that type of stuff just sitting around. I don't want it. I have way too much crap here as it is. I don't need a bunch of boxes just sitting there. So, yeah, for me, digital all the way. But for someone like you who wants to collect the games, wants to have the shelf, it just makes so much more sense. Like, even price-wise, it makes so much more sense to just do, if that's what it is, if it's not, I don't know. People are like, oh, they're lazy, this and that. If they were lazy, they just do it on a piece of paper and give you a code.
Like,
right?
Because that's another option we're not considering here. You can basically walk into Walmart or Target and buy cardboard, not a game case, but cardboard that's a voucher to download a game.
Yeah, okay, and the argument of like they're lazy, like lazy for what? Like maybe not optimizing the game enough to get it under 64 gigs.
That's what they're lazy.
Okay, that's fine, maybe, but not really. I mean, how watered down do you want your game?
And that's the point I was trying to make. Is like, I mean, yeah, they could have, but they already went from 85 on PS5, went from 85 down to 73 on Switch, and yeah, I guess you could have shaved off another 10? You needed more than 10 gigabytes.
These are not like Nintendo developers either.
No.
These aren't people who like, oh, we know this hardware in and out. Like, yeah, you look at Mario Kart, it's like 30 some gigs. Yeah, that makes sense because Nintendo is the one making it. They can do that. They've been doing that. I mean, how big was Tears of the Kingdom?
19?
It was tiny.
Yeah.
It was huge game. Tiny. I mean, that's the thing. These, maybe in the future as we go, we'll see these sizes go down a little bit as people can like get a hold of this system and, put a couple games out for it. Get used to the architecture and the way that they're developing for all these things and what they need to do to save room here or fix this here so it runs a little more efficient and doesn't need all these resources or whatever they do to make that happen. That comes with time. I mean, to say that they're lazy, I don't know about that.
I also want
to say that they're lazy is a little. I mean, I don't know.
You're stretching it. You're stretching it thin at that point.
Yeah, you're being a little presumptuous at that point. Like you don't. You don't really know what's happening there.
It can't be lost because everyone just told me their argument with ignoring the other factors here. And another factor is that Split Fiction is $50, whereas Cyberpunk is $70. That's $20 of profit margin that Cyberpunk is going to get, and they're spending some of that profit margin on the cartridge that you're getting. Whereas Split Fiction, they're just charging $50. No, I shouldn't say just. You guys know that's expensive too, but they're charging $50.
Yeah, they're not going crazy,
and they don't have the extra headroom that Cyberpunk does with that extra profit margin to make up that cost.
Yeah, I mean, and I think I feel like that's a fair thing to say. I don't know. People are going to get mad over it either way because they want their version to be the superior version. I mean, again, I don't have a dog in this fight because I'm digital anyway. But
I just don't think it's a hot take. It's a drip to say that I'd rather you just give me a digital code inside of the game case than a fake digital code inside of the game case that I'm now tethered to and I must carry around with me to play a game that's the only benefit is I can sell it when I'm done with it. But while I have it, my life is inconvenienced. So
that's what I'm saying.
If you're a reseller, whatever, it's great. You can buy this. If
you are somebody who buys games, plays them, and then sells them to GameStop to get new stuff, cool. This is good. Yeah, this is good for you. It keeps you at least having that option. I don't see how this is an advantage to anyone else at all. I mean, it's just more plastic you've got to manufacture. It's I don't get it. I don't understand it. I mean, I can see that one thing, and if someone else in the comments wants to let me know what the other advantages of having this fake cartridge is, please let me know. But all I see is, like you said, inconvenience for no reason. Like, you're not giving me the game. I don't get the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not giving that to me. So why are you making me take that little piece of plastic everywhere with me so my system knows? It'd be one thing if you put it in one time and it was like, okay, this is yours. You got it done. You don't have to do it anymore. But you have to put it in to play the game, right?
Yes.
It's insane. I would never do that. I would never buy one of those. Never.
And I
would much rather. And I don't even want to buy the physical with the piece of paper inside with the code on it because I don't want the case sitting around my house. Yeah, I just don't want it.
Yeah, I've resorted myself to that. I've accepted the future that we're going towards, which is digital. And I've always been the guy who said this. I said, don't take my physical away. And if you are going to take it away, then just give me the game case so I can display it and a code in the box so I have the benefit of digital and the benefit of collecting. But don't give me a game key card that I'm tethered to. And maybe there'll be a time where I buy a game key card because it's a game I know. Let's say Madden. Maybe I just want to play Madden for a bit. I just want to
sell it,
and then I'll offload it because I buy and sell. I buy and sell physical games. I do that not as a reseller, just as somebody who there's certain games that I don't really want to keep. And if there's a better deal on Madden, if there's a sale on Madden early on, that I get half off of Madden, I'll do that. And then I'll just resell it later for even if it's $5 or $10, I'll get my money back for it rather than waiting until the end of the Madden life cycle. Then the hype dies down and I'm stuck with a $10 digital code that I either have to have in my system or not have in my system and whatever. Point is, game key cards add an inconvenience to physical games.
It just adds more
inconvenience to physical game. You don't actually get to it. The whole thing about physical games is that when the servers die, you have a game. And that's not what this is.
That's what confuses me too about people trying to defend this. Aren't physical isn't that the whole point? Is the game preservation? You want to be able to have that physical, you're not getting that at all. What's the point here? I mean, other than selling, I get that. Is that the only point? And because I feel like that's weird too, because Nintendo doesn't want you doing that. They don't want you selling games between each other. They want you buying new copies. I don't understand this. I
want to stress that if you want to buy a game key card, I'm not stopping you. Go ahead.
Do it. Yeah.
Do it. My point is that I find it inconvenient. And it's not because it's a physical game. I have plenty of cartridges that I'm willing to carry around with me. But not these cartridges. Not worth my time. Not worth my time.
It's just kind of aggravating when you think about it.
Yes, it's really it's frustrating that they exist. I was already there, and now I'm frustrated because people are defending them as if they're better than a code. And I'm like, that's just not true. They're not better than a code. They have advantages and disadvantages just like a code does.
Yeah. I mean, you could share the game at that point too, I guess, if you wanted to let somebody borrow it. I mean, there's that, I guess, too, but at this point,
digital game shares a thing. You can do that now.
You can
now officially do that now. So that's erase that benefit.
Yeah, you can do that either way anyway. So
one thing I want to touch on before we get off of here, Drip, is that pre-order madness. That happened. Yeah. You want to
not for me.
Well, I want to hear. Let me talk. You talk about your experiences, and I'll talk about my experience, but also the listeners' experience. I asked people in our Discord to leave us their experiences, and I'll get to that.
I mean, I went early. I definitely went early, but I don't know. I just sat there. We waited. Met some cool people in line. We talked. I got to play the Switch too, so I got to talk about that. Everyone was very interested in my conversation about that. We got to basically sit outside. The way the GameStop was positioned, we were in the shade right up until noon, like literally right up until noon. The sun came over the top. We're like, okay, cool. Inside. I was the second one in line. I would say there's probably about 50 or so people by the time the store opened, but I went quite early. There was one other guy there when I got there. I went 4 hours early.
That's very early.
Yeah, I didn't care. I just wanted to make sure, I can't not have the things I needed, which I'm glad I did. I guess they did have limited numbers for pre-orders anyway in store of the controller and the camera. Online, I guess there's more, but they could only do so many in store, I guess. So I did get everything I wanted. And got the bundle with Mario Kart, got the camera, got the Pro controller. Only had to put down $60 total. So I've been stopping back by here when I get a little extra cash sitting around. Like, here you go. Here's 20. Here's 40. Just making sure I don't spend it. I just take it right over there if I go by. It was easy. And I know a lot of people had problems, but I knew this was going to be the case. That's why I put out that last video talking about GameStop being the place to go in person, because online, dude, these sites are not, we talk about this every time something comes out. These sites are not built to handle what is happening right now. And I mean, and this is even crazier. I don't know if you heard this. Do you know what the last the biggest console release, do you know what it was so far? Like as far as numbers, as far as sales?
Yeah, PS5.
For consoles release. PS5 and PS4 are tied at what? 4?
Oh, they're tied. Okay.
4 point something million?
Yeah, I think we'll just say 5 million.
I mean, this thing is projected to be anywhere between 6 and 8 million. 6 and 8 million. So we might be doubling.
6 and 8 million for the first 6 months.
Okay, yeah. But we're talking about doubling that. We're talking about doubling the record.
And actually, I've heard estimations that gone past. Those estimations were before the actual first day. I've heard rumors that it could be as high as 8 to 12 million in the first 6 months.
Either way, my point of even bringing that up is those websites didn't work when the PS5 went on pre-order. They did the same thing. I mean, if you've ever tried to get a pair of like real hype shoes, on launch and go sit, what happens. These websites crash. They do all this crazy, like the Foot Locker. It's the same thing. They don't care. They're not going to fix it ever. There is I'm telling you, there's something to be said about going in person and just standing there, waiting your turn in line, doing it right there. There was no stress for me, which was great. I know your experience was a little bit different and not bad either, though, right?
No, actually, well, not bad. It depends. So here's my thing. I was with you. I'm like, I'm going to GameStop.
Yeah.
But that was Wednesday night before, after our show. And then after I realized after our show that,
sick.
Crap, I have the flu. So time to sleepies. I did have the work. I promise you, I went to bed right after the show was done and I uploaded it. I slept for 2 hours and it was like 11:15. And I'm like, oh shit. 45 minutes, the pre-order start. Maybe I don't think I'm going to be able to make it tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I decided to tough it out for the next what turned out to be hour and a half, 2 hours. Excuse me. To wait for the pre-orders with everybody else. And I made a decision. I said I'm gonna only buy digitally online from Best Buy, because Best Buy has the midnight release / in-person pickup, where the other places don't have that. So I said that's no matter what happens, if you guys are a Young Frankenstein fan, put the candle back. Whatever happens, that's a reference. If you know, you know. I'm only going to Best Buy no matter what happens. 12 o'clock comes, right? And I see, Target's up, Walmart's up within the first 5 minutes. I wasn't pressured, though. I was pressured, but I didn't bite. I'm like, all right, they're up. I'm letting them do their thing. Meanwhile, Best Buy's refreshing, and it took a half hour to get to Best Buy. Which that was a let me tell you something, that was some willpower, but at the same time, I'm sitting here in my bed, I'm going, listen, I'm not religious, but sometimes I talk to a God. And I'm like, God, if this is if this is the way it has to be, if I miss out a Switch because I'm sick, that's what it is, man. So I'm just like, I'm sick. This is what it is. This is what I have to do. So I'm like waiting for Best Buy, and Best Buy does come up a half hour in, and I get myself in line. And I waited some more. And then about 15 minutes after I got in line at Best Buy, so we're now 45 minutes past, everybody started freaking out because their Target and Walmarts were getting canceled. Mainly Target. Mainly Target.
Target was the one people were getting
so
canceled.
I'm like,
they would immediately get an email that said it was canceled.
I'm like, I dodged a bullet there, man. I'm like, shit, like I could have bit on that bait and then been really upset and missed out on my Switch too. And it turns out it took me about an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 25 minutes of waiting on Best Buy's line. And here's what I even forgot to tell Abby about this. I'm kidding you not. So I'm sitting there, half dead in bed. At this point it's 1:15 in the morning. I'm ready to give up. I'm falling asleep. I'm sick. I'm like, well, I guess I'm going to try to drag myself out of the bed in the morning and go to Target with GameStop, which was never going to happen, by the way. Knowing what I know now, that was never going to happen. So I got lucky. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, dying, right? And I did one of these. I was like, fuck it, man. Let me just, I swear, I'm not making this up. I am not making this up. The literal second that I use my hand like a magician on my phone, to because that's how
you're in.
That's how lost I was, sick. I was like, fuck it. What if this works? And I put my hand out and magically wave it across my screen to see if it worked. I kid you not. I swear on my grandmother's grave.
God, I bet that was hilarious.
Fucking said so funny. It fucking worked. It literally went, you're in, check out. And I was like, my microphone just moved up. I swear to God that happened. And I'm like,
that's crazy.
That's
crazy.
I'm like, oh my God.
At least you got it though.
And I checked out.
Did you have any trouble? Did you have any trouble when you were checking out? Was it giving you any errors or anything? None.
No errors. I'm still checking to this day to make sure Best Buy hasn't canceled my order, and they have not.
Yeah. And
crazy.
It was the same thing the next morning because GameStop did theirs at 11 the next morning, and we were sitting out in line, and I was like, let's just look. Let's just see what happens. I tried to open that, crashed. I couldn't even get on the site. It was crashing the whole time. These websites just aren't built for it. They're just not. I will say this. Best Buy is the place where I got my OLED pre-order. And a lot of other stuff, too. What was the other thing I got there? Any of the pre-orders I tried to get, before. They do, their system is probably the best as far as, a queue and getting in line and, knowing what's happening, and then they just get you in. It's a nice little checkout, and you're out.
They were dropping those Zelda amiibo that were hard to get, and I picked them up from them.
Yeah. It's just. Oh God, hang on, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're yawning.
This is not Nintendo's fault.
No, I love Kit and Krista, but they were wrong about that.
I watched their video about that, and they were very mad at Nintendo. This has nothing to do with Nintendo. Nothing. This has everything to do with Target, Walmart, all these places not getting their websites ready to have that much traffic, and they don't care either, because Whoever the hell gets on and gets through is going to get them. They're selling it. It doesn't matter to them. They don't care. Even if it takes all night, they do not care. That's who you should be mad at, not Nintendo. Nintendo, once it's into, once they sell their stock to Walmart or Target or whoever, it's out of their hands. I mean, if anything, you can look at Nintendo and see what they're doing. They are doing it right. Like, you have to be an online member and you have to have had a 12-month, subscription prior to this. You have to be somebody who plays your Nintendo Switch. Like, they're doing it right, and they're going to pick. It's going to be a lottery. They're going to look and see, okay, these are the people. Here's who we pick from. These are the people who can go in and do it. So, I mean, anybody mad at Nintendo over the pre-order stuff, I mean, you got to understand what's happening behind the scenes a little better, because it has nothing to do with them. If you're dealing with checkouts on Walmart, Target, even GameStop, anywhere, it doesn't matter. It has nothing to do with the Nintendo at that point, except for the name on the product that you're buying. And it would be any other product that you're buying. If it's in that much demand, you would have the same problems with that. So that actually, I do want to bring this up too. I saw yesterday one of the GameStops in New York was trying to force people to buy big bundles of things and wouldn't let them just. So I saw the papers that they were using. I got the same paper when I went there. So they were only giving them that back. There's a whole front sheet. Okay. The back sheet was the one that they had those bundles. It was like, if you want all this stuff, because what they were trying to do was they gave me 2 pieces of paper. The front one had every single thing that I could pre-order. And they were like, here's the paper, here's a pen. So we do this quick, mark the stuff you want. That way we don't have to go through everything. We'll take your paper, we'll get you down. You can put your money down. We'll get everybody in and out quick.
By the way, love that analog system in this day and age. Love it. Love to see it.
Yeah. So, it was very quick and easy. They handed out pens, papers, and then the next page were those bundles with all the big stuff. And I looked at them because I was almost like, should I just do this? Is there anything? And I was like, no, they all got physical games, which I'm not going to do. Like, I don't need that. And if you pre-order at GameStop, you get a free screen protector when you pick up your console. So that's cool. I saw those. Those were an option. You could do that, but they weren't. Never was that stated that you have to do that. So whoever did that was clearly lying, because we had the option to do that too. But then I heard also when they were ringing them up, it wasn't like, okay, bundle number 3. It's like, oh, this thing, type it in, this thing. They were manually putting those things in. It wasn't a bundle in the system. It was, here's one thing. They showed us that on the paper so they could be like, okay, we're going to sell more stuff, but they never made it a requirement.
And that's only, as far as I know, that's the only GameStop that has this controversy. Like, literally, it's like,
I don't know if yeah. Well, I mean, they never said anything, not even close to saying like, oh, you have to do it this way. No one ever said that.
And GameStop's official Twitter has announced that they are investigating.
I did see that too, which is good. But
that story needs to be punished, man. Because people lost on pre-orders because of that.
They did.
They walked away. They're like, oh, I can't afford $800 right now, because that's what
I would imagine it's whoever's in charge of that store. And you know how it is at GameStop. It's the reason I don't go to GameStop. Because as soon as you get to the register, they're like, do you want a Pro Plus Power membership? Do you want to upgrade this? Do you want insurance on this? Do you want to get this? Do you want to get it used? You can say they always try to, like, they have to, though. That's what they're told to do. They are, they're whipping them to make sure that they're trying to upsell. Because GameStop, that's how they make money. That's how they make money. So the managers and the people pushing the store employees to meet the quota or get to the higher level or whatever it is, I mean, those are the people who should be in trouble. I mean, GameStop can say all they want. Oh, we're looking into this, but it's like, it's your model that's forcing, or not forcing, but it's your model that's making these things happen. So I don't know. I would say, yeah, the people doing that should be in trouble because that's just fucked up in general. But it kind of starts with GameStop themselves. Like, hey, maybe you should change your business model and it won't force people to try to do shady things to meet your demands.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, I just want to read off. So I asked people in the Discord, I want to hear their stories. So they told us. First, actually, is Mega, who I have it on my phone here. And I got his permission. I asked him, can I share the story? He's like, yeah, sure. So him and his buddy decide that they're taking off together on the release day. And they're going to be,
Nice.
actually, it's not him and his buddy. I don't know if I don't want to get this wrong, Mega. I'm sorry if I get it wrong. But basically what's happening is his buddy and him at work, like on work hours, they do something called like team building exercises, which I'm sure is standard practice for a lot of offices. They're going to be playing Switch too in their office during work hours as team building.
That's awesome.
Which is like,
That is awesome.
I'm like, dude, incredible. So excited for you. That's best of both worlds. Still at work, not missing a day of work, but also getting to play the system on launch day. So that's
super cool.
That's hella awesome.
That's super cool.
A negative one here. Unfortunately, our buddy Aiden from Discord, he missed out. He went to GameStop and they basically turned him away because he was the last person in line to get turned away before they cut off pre-orders. So he missed out the boat there. Sorry, Aiden. That stinks.
That's rough.
Hopefully,
it is rough.
I actually managed.
They'll go back up. They'll go back
They
up.
will. And they did because my brother, I got one for my brother. My brother was on the fence and I got a message and it was like hours long. Like the other day, it was a few days after the pre-order madness. And it was Walmart had them up for many hours. And I managed to add one to my cart and I was like, hey, brother, I have one in my cart right now. You want me to you want me to check this out right now? I can check it out. I'll ship it to you. Give me your card. And he's like, yeah. So my brother has a Switch on, hopefully on launch day, but he'll be getting it shipped to his house, which is pretty cool.
That's cool. That's cool.
Not a bundle, just the regular Switch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, anybody out there who didn't get one, just keep your eye out. They'll be going back up. They're not going to be that hard to get. I mean, Nintendo has clearly not met the demand, but they understand that there is one and they are working hard to, do their best, I guess. They're going to be more. They're going to be more. And I mean, especially right now with the tariff situation, things being paused, they're trying to get as many here as they possibly can right now.
Yeah.
So.
And I apologize for grossly shortening this one. Our buddy Caffeinated, I'm not going to read the whole thing because I don't think I can make the whole read because I'm going to cough throughout it. Excuse me. But basically, I think what I read here from Caffeinated is that he didn't get one. He was not trying to get one either. But he was curious the day like the hours after GameStop was open that day of pre-order madness. He decided to go in, and I think they still had some left after like hours in at his local GameStop. Like they didn't have basically a big enough line. Their demand didn't meet their supply. Was not past their supply. So
That's the only place I've heard that happen. That's crazy. Though.
I might have got that wrong. I hope I didn't, but I'm trying to paraphrase and read quickly here. Oh yeah, so Coca Baby says that while he was in GameStop, a car pulled up while they were waiting. And it was an old lady that said, "Was this for Switch 2 pre-order?" And he said, and she asked what this was, and she was told it's for Switch 2 pre-orders. And she said, "Quote, oh, I love Rainbow Six." She's probably 65 years old and playing Rainbow Six, which I don't know what Rainbow Six is, but
it's like a Call of Duty type of game.
Oh, that's hilarious. And Jeff says that that old lady is based as fuck.
I mean, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. And Ocho, what did Ocho say? Ocho said something. I think Ocho was just a part of that pre-order madness in the evening, with everybody else. And I believe Ocho got their hands on one. So good job, Ocho.
Yes. I also got a comment on one of my videos. So,
yeah. So there's thank you for sharing your stories, guys. I'm sorry I didn't spend more time on them, but I know Drip's got a skedaddle here, and I also got as well. Are we getting a video up today?
Like on my channel?
Yeah.
I may get a video to you today, but
Maybe.
it probably won't go up today because I gotta go. I gotta do a bunch of stuff right now. I'm set up back there for a video. I'm gonna film one. I know what I'm filming. I have all the notes and everything. It's ready. I'll have to just sit down and do it now. So
sweet.
Once I get people from school to the doctor home, I'm also going to see the Minecraft movie tonight.
Oh, hell yeah. Let me know what that is. I want to hear from your perspective as somebody who's not Minecraft fan and who's not a child. I want to see what you think about it.
I'm interested to see.
Excuse me. So this is obviously recording this on Tuesday morning of Wednesday evening, tomorrow evening. We're going to be hanging out with Baldy Rudy. He has confirmed his availability.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
That's why I want to talk about this now, because tomorrow's episode is going to be all about Switch 2 Power versus versus the handhelds, the PC handhelds out there. Excuse me, the Pepsi.
Yeah.
The Pepsi starting to get to me. But yeah, so tomorrow is going to be Baldy Rudy talking about the power and specs of Switch 2 versus its competitors, essentially, which are the PC handle market. And who better to talk to than Baldy Rudy about that?
I'll have to get my questions ready.
Yeah. So me as well. I need to at least get a basic list of like what's available right now. Like what is, I know there's been some updates on some of these devices. So that's gonna be a great conversation. Don't miss that, live Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. Yeah. This has been the extra episode this week. You're welcome, I guess. And this Friday, Drip and I are going to be guests on the what is Mike Odyssey's show called? I'm sorry, I forget his show's name, but the Mike Odyssey podcast is what I'm going to call it. Hanging out with him, so that's going to be cool. Don't miss it. Don't miss us. We're going to be there as well. So busy week for Drip and I. So cool.
Yeah, I forgot about that too. So.
Yeah, I'm reminding you live. We're doing that this Friday.
Cool.
So cool guys.
Cool.
We'll talk to you tomorrow night live.
Later.